Welcome. Welcome. This is the Town Council, New Shore Town Council meeting on Thursday, October 7th at 3 o'clock. There's 4 items on the agenda, and we'll start with in a second. While there is not public comment on the agenda, if there is anybody who wants to say anything before we start, I will entertain that. And if you could say your name just for the record, that would be really helpful. If you could just say your name. Yep, I know. I'm trying to be very equal.
So how much money has come in from the wind farm and there's nothing, again, I can spend more, certainly I've heard this over the years. I'm glad to see more documents included in the agenda, but it's still very slim pickings. Now, of course, it's the administration's responsibility and discernment to say, this is an agenda item that really deserves some sort of report for the public and for the deciding body. And there are others that are not. So I would like to, again, this is my first sort of opportunity to talk to you and the administrator about doing a better job on that. So I'd like to know about the accounting and where that is.
And I think the town manager, we haven't talked about it, but the town manager said she would supply that or will supply that. And we all want to see it, but it's not on the agenda today. The third item is really about invoices that National Grid was given by different island businesses. And how do we make sure there's an accounting of that? So, I mean, Marianne can jump in and do whatever, but I think that's got to come up on an agenda, which will probably be in 10 days or whatever.
So what I had planned to do with that request, this is not a regular council meeting.
Right.
The next regular council meeting, which I call the regular council meeting, will be on October 20th. I do a town manager's report.
Okay.
And what I would do is have that information either in the town manager's report or attached to the town manager's report.
All right, I misunderstood you last week because I heard next week you would have that. So this brings up a really, really important issue, is the issue. There's a lot of discussion, there's division on the council, but if anyone, Mr. Stover, Mr. Rizum, or Mr. Manuel wanted to ask for consideration,
No,
for those eyes there, I don't, the public doesn't know when to do that.
Yep.
They don't have the minutes to hear exactly what was said on Tuesday, because was that a regular meeting, was it not? There's a lot of mixture, so if you can, you don't have to try to clarify for me today.
And we talked about this on Monday, about the desire to get the minutes up earlier
I
and.
mean, I
and
was
cost-
glad to see that on Monday's agenda, there were, it looked like 5 meetings in September. Bravo, but it's not, how do you say, it's good, but it's not good enough with regard to the public interest and your interest, and basically the prerogative of hypothetically asking for reconsideration.
Yep.
Okay?
Thank you, Rosemary, very much. We appreciate it. I'm glad we were able to hear your points of view. Okay, on the agenda, thank you. On the agenda is award bid for 2021 road improvement project, West Beach Road, Carty Corporation, $449,040. Mary Ann, do you want to take us through this?
Let me
Been a
run
lot
with this. So Jim Jeremiah, town engineer, is joining us via Zoom this afternoon. Before you is the award of a bid for the West Beach Road project to Carty Corporation in the amount of $449,040. The paving is for the whole road. It's from Cornet Road to the transfer station. Discussion of this pavement of this road starts back to 2016. Was before the council at that point. And it was when the council was in the process of applying for a grant. The grant was about $108,000 with a 20% match in fiscal 2019 and 20. 2019, the match was budgeted in the capital budget and it was reassigned in the following year. I think, as I understand it, it was determined that with that grant and the amount budgeted, the 20% match, you would probably pave about 300 feet of that road. And it was determined that that was not enough. The whole road needed to be paved. Mike Shea, highway supervisor, did tell the council back in 2016 that that road, dirt road, that particular West Beach Road is the most traveled dirt road in the town. What happens is the gravel, when there's rain and washout, ends up on Cornet Road, which presents a safety issue for bicycles and mopeds. Mike also advised me that he spends upwards of $30,000 in materials on an annual basis to take care of that road each fiscal year. So it's long overdue to get that road paved. What Mike told the council back in 2016 has not changed with that road. It still is the heaviest traveled road, dirt road in the community. Paving is slated, or the work on that road is slated to start next week with preparation. The following week is when most of the binding and the paving will take place. What we're proposing to do, we've been working with Sean, and he's here this afternoon. Sean has found a way to stage some of his heavy equipment and needs at the Block Island Power Company. We are proposing that we close the transfer station. It'll be open the Saturday and Sunday of next weekend. Monday, it is normally closed, so it'll be closed Monday. It'll be closed Tuesday and Wednesday. Those are the 2 days it's normally open, and closed Thursday and Friday, and will reopen on Saturday. The reason why we're closing it is because of the paving and the binding you need to put down. Once you put the binding down, residential cars are okay for that. Commercial vehicles or heavy trucks cannot travel on that road. It also gives the time for the road to cure up before we're opening. And speaking with Sean, he thinks that the closing of that short period of time, those 2 days on Tuesday, Wednesday, will be okay for the residents based on folks that go to the transfer station during that time period. We will get that out via social media. I plan to put a my message from the town manager and next week's Block Island Times about the closure. We'll get it on the bulletin board. We'll get the flyers out and we'll also put some signage up. Regarding the residents that live on that road, I've already spoken to Chief Monahan that he will go door to door and provide folks with the information as to the schedule and what will go on. Residents will be allowed to enter and exit that road. It'll be limited to local traffic. I recommend that the council approve this particular project today. I think it's really important that we move forward and get that road paved.
Sorry, mine was just clarification on the funding of this, because I know this has been going on for forever, and I think some of us are a little surprised that it's actually happening. Because we all live here. And so we have the money?
So the funding, that's one thing I didn't address in my spiel there. If the council remembers back in 2000 and 2000.
Clearly we don't.
Nope. 2000 fiscal year, and at the financial town meeting in 2019 and the financial town meeting in 2020, each of those meetings, it went before the voters to appropriate $1 million, authorize the bond issue of $1 million each year. So with that money, what we did was we took care of Old Town Road, Pilot Hill, Connecticut Avenue, and Old Town Road. The total of that was just under $1.1 million. The bids came in less than we thought, which was a good sign. Even when we did this project, the two lowest bidders were within $4,500, and that is really a tight bid. So we do have funds available to pave this particular road. So those are the funds we're going to use. It's $449,000. Once you throw some engineering work and some other stuff, it'll be slightly under $500,000 to get that. And once we have an accounting of all these funds, once all these pavement projects are completed, we may come back to the council and say, we have additional funds. Maybe we'll explore some other projects that may be used. Mike Shea has, as a highway supervisor, is the one that continually brings up this road and the need to get it paved.
So this folds back to that 2 million that's been around
Correct.
for a while. That was, that's what I thought, but I couldn't find it in this year's papers because it wasn't this year. Good. Okay. Thank you. That's, and Jim is on the phone.
Yes, I am.
Hey, Jim, it's Martha.
Hi, Martha. How are you?
Okay. What exactly is going on this road? I don't understand
Okay.
any of this.
Basically, what this project involves is we're going, they're going to begin on Tuesday of next week to begin to regrade the road. First operation is really to level it. There are some low points in the road, some drainage issues. We want to balance that out with a good sub base. And there's a drainage pipe that goes, I think, around midpoint in the roadway where we're going to replace. It's corrugated metal now. It has deteriorated. So there's going to be a drain pipe that will replace in kind along that road. So once we regrade the road, there is a section of at the transfer station, there are 2 driveways that will be removed, and we're going to repave those driveways. Also at the entrance, sometimes you can't tell, but it is paved from Corn Neck Road into West Beach Road. We're going to tear that up and remove some of the pavement on Corn Neck Road so we can blend in the transition in pavement from Corn Neck into West Beach Road. So once the let's call it the sub base, the gravel is level, which is anticipated to take 3 days, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And obviously the residents can go up and down that road and the dump will remain open that day. On Friday of that week, the first, there are 3, let's call them 3 courses of pavement. First half of the road will have binder. They have rented the ferry, so they'll have 6 trips. that'll take from the transfer station to Corn Neck Road. So that'll be Friday of next week. On Monday of the following week, they'll do the other portion of binder and then continue with top coat on either day. So they'll have a 3-inch binder, a 2-inch top coat, and the road will be built to basically roadway standards. We're working with Mike. There are certain areas where he gets severe runoff, and we're going to create some swales and some berms to avoid that runoff. As you can tell from, we're ending at the transfer station entrance, and we'll blend into, there's a transition between paving, gravel, and then let's call it the scale or the concrete. We're going to blend all of that in and try to control and modify some of the runoff from that scale and get it away from the roadway. So that's the objective. And then at the end of the job, we'll put we'll restripe Corn Neck Road on that section, and we'll put those stop bars at the end of the road.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jim. This is Sven. Real quickly, and I did talk to Marianne about this the other day, and Sean is here. My druthers would be that we go to at least the exit point of the transfer station, not to the entrance of the transfer station, only because you got every car pulling out, rounding, and coming up. Is that?
We're going to the entrance, the second entrance to the transfer station.
Which is
if that clears that up. Not much beyond that, it becomes CRMC's jurisdictional area. And to be honest, I wanted to stay out of that.
I just, you're going to the second entrance, which is the
Yes.
entrance. That's all I wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
And the second thing is, and I do understand the CRMC comment, as you remember when the revetment was built, and we've also done shoreline access work, that area down at the end of the road has been washed. I mean, it's sort of had its problems down there.
Yes.
Is there any way, given all the equipment, given everything, to be able to improve that area, or we have not gotten the applications done to do anything in that area?
First, on the applications, no, there's no application to do anything in that area. Second, I spoke with Mike Shea. We've spoken on numerous occasions about that. And unfortunately, what ends up happening is every time he places material there, within the first rainstorm or second rainstorm, all of that gets washed out to sea.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's got to be long-term kind of assessment of what to do at the end of the road, just past what I'll say is there's a driveway to a property owner. Just past that, that really needs to either end the road at that point in time, put some stone in there and just have public access through foot traffic. But that's something we'll have to apply to CRMC to do.
Yeah, let's keep that on our little tickler list. I know
Okay.
I have walked Gracie's Cove, which has the exact same type of issues, and then with the Andy's Way project underway. But this one, there are a surprising number of people that do go down onto West Beach from that point, and I think over time we should tackle that. And then, thank you very much, Jim. Marianne, one last question, and I know Martha sort of asked it, but I want to make it very clear. So the funding for this project is basically past bond issues. There's no incremental funding that's needed. This is not about taxes and anybody raising fees or anything like that. This is all paid, quote unquote, paid for and bonded.
Correct.
Thank you. Steve, did you hear? No, just joking. Sean McGarry's here. Sean, any thoughts, comments? Are we going to be okay on sort of people's trash if they have it that day and didn't know? Your thoughts?
My name is Sean McGarry. I'm over at Block Island Recycling Manager of the Transportation, Sean. I was approached by Jim Jeremy about the scheduled paving plan, and he asked for my input as to what I felt would be the best practice to, for us to assist. Fortunately, our schedule changes, Columbus Day weekend, we go to Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, which is always a big surprise for people. But the following week is when the schedule work is going to begin. So we'd be essentially losing Tuesday and Wednesday for the public access. The benefit to the island is public, my company, the damage that does to my equipment, and the poor neighbors who have to deal with the rattling of those trucks up and down, the dust that turns up. The benefit loss benefit. We're out, we're supposed to transfer. We're out. So we need make accommodations depending on the weekend instead of during the week. You know, there are some fallers, you know, for example, Nick Dick, who's probably one of the greatest impact. So you should probably reach out to him and see what his concerns are. I'm more than willing to accommodate, you know, his needs. You know, we can do some after hours dumping or something to get his trucks unloaded or what have you, whatever fits the schedule of the pay. So we're on board, and I think it's fantastic. It's finally going to happen. Like you said, it's amazing. It's just happening.
It is, it is. No, about this point, it's like, I don't believe it. Until it's paid, I don't think anybody believes it. I think if you can help us with McPick and Marianne, I think there are two people that are probably in that boat. The other one is, I know Marianne's planning to, or at least the chief is planning to go to the homeowners on that road. Maybe there is a flyer or a sheet that you can hand everybody going into the dump the week before. No matter what somebody's going to say, you know, they're going to be upset about it, but the more information we can do, the better, and we really appreciate it. So thank you. I think we're good. So we need a vote, right?
We do.
I'll make a motion to approve the awarding of the bid for the 2021 road improvement project West Beach Road to Carty Corporation for $449,040. Seconded by Keith. Any comment? Martha, how do you vote?
Aye.
Keith, how do you vote? Yes. I vote yes as well. Unanimously passes. Marianne, thank you. Jim, thank you very, very much for all your lead in this. And we look forward to seeing you during the project.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend, everybody.
Thanks,
Thank
Jim.
All righty. Yeah, I know. Second item on the agenda is to receive receive and act on request to transfer taxi license from Mo Dulac, sorry for the loss, to Judy Dulac. So that's from a procedural point of view. I would love to know if we have a quorum and we can continue this conversation, or we don't have a quorum.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I just want
to say,
go ahead.
normally I do not act on these. This is pro forma. It is potentially hardship, and that's one of the.
Thank you very much, Martha, and I think I thank you very much. So I know Judy does too. Just so everybody understands, especially for the press, transfer of taxi license is very controlled by the Motor Vehicles for Hire, and it is only in this passing, and again, sorry, of Mo, that the license can go to his spouse. It cannot go to children. It cannot go to others. And it's very clearly written. This was recommended by the Motor Vehicles for Hire group. And so as Martha said, there's a little bit of pro forma going on here, but it's just part of our duty. I make a motion to approve the request to transfer the taxi license from Mo Dulac to Judy Dulac. Seconded by Keith. And thank you, Martha. How do you vote?
Aye.
Keith? Judy, thank you very much. Your license is yours. I voted aye.
Okay.
Unanimous vote, 3-0. And we look forward to seeing you out there.
Oh, yeah, I've been in it since 2008. I just told him, well, you still vote, please find me, he said, Columbus Day, you fight.
Well, you got a couple of days to get out there now. Thank you very much, and again, sorry, but we much
Thank you
forward.
for your patience this summer, because I know, and I wrote a letter, it's in the file that there was no way I could do 40 hours. And my thing was to spend time with him, as well as keep the cab. And I did manage to keep it on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, when it was most needed. But that last week, there was no way I could work a cab, but I did work late today again.
Again, our blessings are with you and your family, and thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Martha.
Have a good day.
I don't want uncertainty hanging over someone.
No, no. Third piece, receive an act on update from National Grid regarding invoices. Is National Grid on the phone?
They are.
They are great. Maybe everybody can introduce themselves who's on the phone.
Sure thing. This is Joe Murphy from National Grid, the principal account manager.
How are you, Joe? Anybody?
Good. Yeah. We have two others on the call.
This is Dave Arthur, Project Management, National Grid. Thanks, Joe.
And we also have George Maximovich.
George
Go ahead.
Maximovich, National Grid Project Management.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Marianne, do you want to give us a little bit of an update? I know you've been talking with Joe a lot and working this through, or I don't know, working it through, but working it?
Yes, somewhat working it through. It appears that currently two other vendors that spoke about, they have, are satisfied and with what has happened over the past week, and that payment will, one will receive payment, the other one said that he is satisfied with where they are with National Grid. So that just leaves Block Island, Sean McGarry,
Recycling management?
I'm sorry,
Berm?
that we're still negotiating and still talking. We had a meeting just,
I'm sorry, Marianne. Before we go to Berm, I thought there were two issues that we were talking about, and I understand keeping names out of it. One was going to be handled by Orsted, if that's what I understood,
Correct.
which
And
was
that's also-
a damage to an apartment. And the other one, which was about a letter and a $1,200 request, I thought was going to a lower payment, or is that suddenly disappeared?
it's my understanding that that one has, the party involved with that has, which one are you talking about now?
So for clarity, there should be a lower payment on that second one. That's what's supposed to happen.
So that
We're-
$600 payment to that person?
Correct.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that at least there was less blood on the floor. So thank you.
Sure
No,
thing.
go ahead to Berm. Thank you, Marianne.
So Sean McGarry and Berman, we've gone back and forth on this quite extensively. We were on a phone call just a little over an hour ago. We weren't quite satisfied with where we were at that point. Joe had left the meeting and was waiting to speak with some of the higher ups with National Grid. Where it was left that if Cleary did not compensate or pay Berman for the outstanding invoice as the work is completed, National Grid will take the responsibility and pay those bills. Hoping Joe, who's on the call, can confirm that is the case. As of 2:00 this afternoon, that was not the case. So at this point, I would like to hear from Joe as to where he was with that, because that's how he left it with Sean and I just about an hour ago.
Yeah, no, thank you, Marianne. Yes, so I was able to get some more feedback after our call and before this meeting. So yes, that is what National Grid will offer in terms of confirming and making sure that those invoices are paid, eventually paid, but certainly based on the conditions that we talked about for any actions that have to happen to enable that. So yes.
I'm sorry, Joe, just because I don't fully know everything and I know it's been moving in the last few hours. Can you just tell me in your words, what National Grid just agreed to?
Sure. So we've spoken with Berm about a path forward that would enable Cleary to pay those invoices. So there's some activity that needs to occur on Berm's part. And if that activity occurs, then the invoices would be paid. If even despite that activity, those invoices are unpaid or remain unpaid by Cleary, National Grid will ensure that they do get, Berm does get compensation for that work once those activities have occurred.
And if I can just add in a personal request, in a timely basis would be great. So that it just doesn't, I mean, this is a long time already happening, so let's try and get it all done. And then I assume you're going to put that in writing to the town manager?
Yeah, I'm working on that piece of it.
Thank you.
Correct.
Go ahead, Maria.
So, Joe, when we left the conversation, you said that you were going to reach out to your team and staff above you. Have you done that? And do you have confirmation from the team that if Cleary doesn't pay the bills, that National Grid would pay the bills?
And sorry, I thought I answered that. Yes,
So you have that confirmation then?
I do. Yeah, I do.
And I assume that would be provided in writing?
Correct. That's what I was referring to, is I'm working on that part to get something in writing.
Sean, sorry. Thank you very much, and I'll come back to that in a second. Any other comments about this? It sounds like, Marianne, thank you for all your effort, but it sounds like the 3 topics which we discussed a week ago or 8 days ago have been addressed. Are being addressed. Sean McGarry, do you have any comments?
Just quickly, I originally came to you looking for your help in collecting this past due. I appreciate the efforts bringing out on your behalf and devoted to it. It's above and beyond your requirements, under our contractual obligation.
And I'll add, I know there's been a lot of puts and calls, is my expression, in all these dialogues, but I do appreciate the work that Marianne has put into it in a great way. And I appreciate the fact that National Grid is working with us. I will say that I'm disappointed that we have to be having this meeting and this discussion, because it shouldn't happen. And I guess in my mind, as we go forward, both with the easements that were just approved, and if there, as I'm sure there will be other easements down the road, I really can't reinforce enough that we are a small community, and we work together and we support each other. So I just think it's very, very important that National Grid knows that as they'd like to be part of this community, that's how we act, and we live up to each other's words. So I appreciate the fact that you guys are helping, and hopefully in the future, we'll be able to address everything expeditiously and on time. Any other comments from anybody else? No. Martha? All righty. Is that anything else on this item, Marianne, that you need? Okay. 4th item on this agenda is discuss and act on emergency ordinance of the town of New Shoreham adopted September 1, 2021 masks to mitigate the spread of COVID, to protect the health, safety, and welfare of the residents of and visitors to the town, which are immediately imperiled by the unforeseen circumstance of a large spike in the increase of COVID-19 cases in the town. It's reported by the Black Island Medical Center. I don't have any need to have an update on this, Martha, or? Nope. Okay, good. Marianne, anything that we need to? Millie, anything? Nope. All righty. Based on that, any other things that falls under the agenda? We hope you have a beautiful afternoon. I make a motion to close the meeting. Seconded by Keith. Martha, do you vote yes?
I vote yes.
I vote yes as well. Keith? Yes. Then thank you all very much, and we are trying to get outside and enjoy the beautiful day. Thank you to everybody who's joining.
Thank you.
Thank you very much to National Grid.
Yep, thank you.